Tasneem, good to see you too. Some more challenges will be going up soon for you, Tasneem, and everyone else on Google Classroom with PSHE. But let's think about RE today. So what I thought was I'd start with the existence of God today, and then each week take the different topics so that we can sort of return to all four at the end just before the mock. Because this is the topic you probably haven't gone over for a while, because I know in class you've been doing Muslim practices, haven't you? Which has probably helped revise some of Muslim belief as well. Morning, Yaprak. So you've probably not done Existence of God for a little while. I'm not sure when the last time was you looked at it. It was in the mock, I think, before the summer, wasn't it? So anyway, I thought it would be good to go over some ideas for it today. So first of all, we're going to do a crossword. I'm going to stick it in the chat so you can have a look at the clues, but we're going to do it together here as well. So you can type in the chat if you see a word and a definition that you know. So do you think everyone else will see the meeting link? I put it in Google Classroom. I put it on a PowerPoint that the teachers sent out, and I've put it just on the Padlet. What do you think? I don't know how else to get the message out, really. I'll record this and then, yeah, maybe not. It's fine. We'll do this week, and then we'll just get in the habit of it. Just spread the word, you know. Hey, guys, you come into a revision on Saturday morning online in this marks. It's really fun. If you like, you can. Anyway, let's just go for it together, shall we? Oh no, you've got the answers here. Okay, so you try and do it without the answers first, and then we'll do some together. So can you see it's like this? And I'm just going to clear the answers. So you have a go now. Everyone got the crossword open? Should be in the chat. I've done it twice there. Great, and I'm just going to empty it so that you don't see the answers, and then we'll have a go doing them together. There's one. There's like an extra thinking you might have covered, you might not have covered. I'm just telling you there's this extra thing. You don't have to know him, but lots of people do use him. I think Miss Good might have taught you about him if you're in Miss Good's class. I've just got to clear all of these. Okay. Existence of God is one of my absolute favourite topics to teach. Not all schools teach it because they pick different themes, but I think it's a really good one, and it can link really well with Muslim beliefs and Christian beliefs as well, so it's quite a helpful one to have. And I mark for this exam paper, I don't know if I told you about. In fact, I mark the papers that other teachers mark. So I get to see loads of exam papers, and not a lot of schools do this unit, Existence of God, but when they do it, they tend to do it, but it's really good, and the questions are good, and you can get really good marks in the essays and things like that. So I think it's a really good unit, so I'm happy we are revising that together today. Hi, Abla, how are you? Good to see your name there, and that you are there. Oh, it's so lovely. I really miss the whole of Morpeth, everybody, but here we go. Right, shall we have a go at this crossword then? Any guesses at any of the words? If I just shrink that down like so. Any guesses at any words? Let's go for it. So I'm going to double up like this. I need to get two screens really going. Let's go to here. No, let's go to here. Okay, number 1 is transcendent. Let's have a look. Belief that God is outside the universe, outside of time and space. Transcendent, yes, good. 2 is omnipotent. Oh, I've spelled it wrong. Oh my goodness me, sorry. I've cut my finger today. I sliced it open this morning, so I typed very well. Should be transcendent. Spelled it wrong. Hang on a minute. Let me go for it. I got it right anyhow. Omnipotent. Well, how have I spelled it on transcendent wrong? I have to come back to that. 3. General. 3. General. Yep. Through ordinary life, sort of everyday activities, or through just reading a book, a holy book, someone else's revelation, or it could be through just thinking about the world. How did the world come about? Brilliant. Now, any other guesses? I'm just going to try and see why I've spelled this wrong. Transcendent. Yeah, I think it's transcendent. Yeah, transcendent. Enlightenment, brilliant. So the exam board has about enlightenment because obviously you're doing this paper with Islam and Christianity. Other students in other parts of the country might be doing it on Buddhism and Christianity. So this unit about existence of God, Buddhists don't believe in a God. So they don't have like dreams and visions or miracles from that God, but they do believe you can achieve some knowledge of the divine or a greater, higher power or higher existence through enlightenment. This is what I know. Well, I knew the people turning up today would be the ones who would be able to think hard in the morning, Amir. That's why. So enlightenment. We sort of skip over it a bit when we're doing it in class. We kind of go, but there could be a question on it. So I think it's worth just mentioning that you could get a question on enlightenment. And obviously, if you were answering from a Buddhist perspective, that would be the thing you would answer some of the questions about. So enlightenment, yeah. 5 down, let's go for it. God making himself known to humanity is what? We've got, yes, thank you. There. So think of revealing something. So what is good for this unit is special and general revelation, knowing what they are. But you also need to say, what did they tell us about God? So sometimes they phrase the question in the exam like, what does general revelation tell us about God? Or what can we learn from God, about God from holy books? So what is it about God's nature? Is it God's omnipotence, omniscience, benevolence? Like, is it that God is a personal God, immanent, transcendent? So you sort of need to know, what are these ideas about God and how do we know them? So that's why this word revelation is really important. Great. 6. Any other ideas here? Let's see. We've got 6 down is, God does not have human characteristics. Yeah, that's another sneaky one. We'll come back to that one in a minute. 7 across. The idea that God intervenes in the world, is part of the world. If God is outside of the world, is transcendent. God is in the world is what? Yes, well done, immanent. Now that, I told you, this overlaps a bit with Christian and Muslim beliefs. And you look at that in Muslim beliefs, don't you, about God being immanent or transcendent. Anyone know a quote we could use for God being immanent in Islam? I put it in the quiz you did in Form this week. Anyone know? If I do this? What's this vein here? Do you know what that's called? Sorry, it's not very... Yeah, closer than your jugular vein. Exactly, well done. So the Quran says we are closer than man's jugular vein, or woman. So it's like here. So God is close and immanent and with us. So it's a bit like, it's like the neck. It's the vein, the blood that runs through the neck. So if that gets cut, then you're kind of, it's like your life force, you know? So like if you think of an animal getting slaughtered and stuff, that's a bit grim, isn't it, this morning? Anyway, so therefore, that's a nice quote you could use, the immanence of God. And you could use it in Muslim beliefs and in this unit. You could use the same quote. So I'll try and help you, particularly in the last week that we have, like quotes that can be used for several different units. It's quite good for you, isn't it? Because then you get like a 2-for-1 offer. Okay. 9 across. God is loving and good. Love. Any guesses here? Benevolent, well done. So benevolent, the way I think of this is you've got L-O-V-E written backwards in the middle. That's how I remember it anyway. It might help you too. 10 down is God is all-knowing. Do you know the answer to this? Are you omniscient enough? Yes, look at that, you two in there. Omniscient, good. 12 across. Okay, so 12 and 6 are more like what we do at A-level, but I think you two can you can all handle this as well. So we'll come back to those in a minute. 13 across, type of revelation through extraordinary events. So through a miracle or through God appearing to somebody special, yeah. And I think of that as like specially for you. It's something special for that person. It's direct to that person. Now, if this idea of special and general revelation is something you feel that you don't know well enough, then I have got 2 videos. I sound like one of those YouTube influencers now. Like and subscribe. I have got 2 videos on the Padlet where I talk through special and general revelation and an essay on how you could write it. So I wasn't going to spend time doing that today because you can find that and watch it. So if you're sat here thinking special general revelation, what are these? In a second, I'll put the link in the chat so you could go to them because they're always things that people feel they want extra help with. So you can have a watch of those. But think of special as like direct to that person. And obviously there's strengths for special and general revelation on either side. 14 across. A type of revelation in a dream or a trance, or you have a, what would you call that, do you think, if I gave you the first letter? Vision, brilliant. 11 across, a seemingly impossible event with no explanation. So it has to, it's breaking the laws of science, exactly, a miracle. Something that could only be done by the power of God, but not everyone believes that they would happen. And a scholar who would say they didn't, so you can use him if you want, he's at A level. Do you think this part of the session you can make it into Q&A? Yeah, of course. You can, easy to ask questions if you're unsure, but yeah, let's just finish the crossword and then you can definitely ask me of anything you're unsure about, definitely. Let me just finish him. So he's called Hume. And he's like a writer who doesn't agree with miracles proving there's a God. And then the last two were just, you don't actually need them, but you can have impersonal. And then here we've got personal. Okay, go for it. Put any questions you like in, that is fine. But I've still got other things I want to carry on with you. But yeah, Amir, ask me whatever. But what I wanted to show you is the areas of the spec that you kind of need to know. So why don't I show you that, and then there might be particular bits of that that you think, oh, I don't know about that, and then we could go over it. Okay. Okay, how about this here? Okay, so we've had, here we go. These are just going to be every Saturday. So 4 Saturdays running up to the exam, the mock exam that you've got. That's all right. And then we will do more running up to different mocks, and yeah, if you like them, we can just do them every Saturday. I don't mind. I'm happy doing that if you're happy doing it. But you've got the mocks in, I think it's, yeah, four Saturdays, and then it's the mocks. The mock, you'll do 1 paper, won't you? And then I think in the spring, you'll do 2, sort of getting ready for the exam, because maybe you've got 2 exams. So, yeah. But I'm here anytime if there's anything you want to have explained, or you want me to put on the Padlet, or, you know, just use me. You can email me, or you can just message me on, when I put my stuff on Google Classroom as announcements, you can drop me a message and ask me a question about anything that you're revising and you want help with. Okay, so Amir, looking at that as all of you, who's this? I play Roblox. Who do you think that is? Why would they be here on a Saturday morning? Okay, so this is what you need to know for the existence of God part of your mock exam. Although I don't know the specific questions, which is great actually, because I won't know when it comes to the real exam what the questions are, so I can't just help you revise just for specific questions. So the design reasons why people say there is a God, and then the strengths and weaknesses of those, and then reasons why people might say there isn't a God, and the sort of responses to that people give if they do believe in God. And then more about what this revelation idea is, special revelation and general revelation, what the strengths and weaknesses of them are as sort of proof of there being a God, or us learning about God, and sort of delving into that a little bit more. And then within all of that, we also have the idea of science and the relationship of religion to science. So I did want to today, did you all get given, if you do a show of hands, some essay plans to do for homework this week? No. Oh, okay. All right. So some of you did, some of you didn't. So I basically, oh, okay. Well, either way, let's do it anyway. I know some classes got some essay plans, so I thought we could plan the one that you got for existence of God. We could plan that in a bit. Any questions so far now about any of this in particular, or I'll just crack on with you? Have you all got a pen and paper? Yes. Okay, great. So grab a pen and paper. Brilliant. And then just write the heading Existence of God Revision. And I'm going to show you some pictures that I think will help spur our memory along a bit about this unit. Okay, great. So good. Here we go. So first of all, whoops, here are 6 pictures that I think could help us think about why people do believe in God. So first of all, tell me what someone is called if they believe that there is a God. So Christians are an example of this, Muslims are an example of this. What could they be called? A theist. Brilliant. If they believe in one God, specifically, if they say it's not just like, you know, there's this one God, the monotheist, fantastic. So you would say that Christians and Muslims are examples of monotheists, and Jews. But anyone who believes in a God is a theist. You don't have to be in a religion to be a theist. Yeah, so polytheist means many gods. Fantastic. Yeah, polytheist means many gods. Monotheist is one god. So generally, when people talk about believing in God, they believe in this type of God that is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent. That's what they generally mean when they say God, theos. Doesn't mean they're necessarily Christian, Muslim, but it does mean that they believe God has these qualities. So what are some reasons why people might hold this belief? So what have I got here? Can anyone think of anything connected to any of these pictures that could be a reason why someone believes in God? And we'll write them down. So hopefully you've written down theist, means you believe in God. And then just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down the side of your page. Good. So which picture goes with the design argument, Abla? So picture 2. Yeah, so write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on your page. And then where there's a 2, you can write design argument. Could, I'll just explain to you then. Oh, no, tell me, who is it that came up with this argument? There's several people, but the one you would have learned about. He used this idea of a watch. Brilliant. So he's called William Paley. And he said, if I was walking through a forest and I saw just a stone on the ground, I wouldn't really think, oh no, it's just a stone that's on the ground. If I saw a watch, and the watches he's talking about were like that picture, not quite like that, but you know, the kind of clockwork, intricate designed watches. So nowadays I sort of like to use the example, if my iPhone was open at the back and you could see all the SIM card and all the kind of motherboard and all the bits and pieces on here. It's so well designed, it's so intricately put together that there must be a designer who did that. So if you look at the world around us, there must be a God that designed this and put it together. If I look at myself, if I look at the way my skin is knit together, how the eye works, if I look at how even a simple blade of grass has got like the molecular level of cells and it takes the sunlight, it's so well designed, there must be a God. So for number 2, you've written design argument, William Paley, must be a God who designed the universe, yeah? We'll come to the criticisms. Each of these obviously have criticisms too, because I mean, I know that design argument, but I'm still an atheist. So there's ways that I would challenge it. But let's just focus on why people do believe in, reasons why people do believe in God. If I am looking at the world and I think, oh, it's so well designed, there must be a God who's designed it, and I'm learning that God is a designer and a creator, is that special or general revelation? If I'm just sort of looking and thinking to myself, yeah, so that's general revelation. So if you had a question on revelation, you could say the design argument, along with some other ones, are examples of general revelation, because I'm sort of coming to a general idea that there's a God because I'm, you know, looking at the world around me. Great. So that's number 2. Any others that we can have a go at? So we've done number 2. What else could we say? Anyone else got another guess? What about, I thought number 1 would be quite obvious on the left, top left. What pizza company is that? Domino's. So what's that to do with? Yes, come on, Amir, tell me. Causation theory, the first cause. So the domino analogy, like the watch analogy, is used. It's called, it's either called the first cause or the cosmological. So it's either called the first cause. In the exam, they call it the first cause. So it's like, or you said the causation argument, which is fine. But the technical word that's used is cosmological. So you can sort of show off to your examiner, but they'll only ever ask for the first cause argument. And do you know who the person is who sort of really put that forward, beginning with an A? Did you learn about who it was? Again, the exam board might not ask you for his name. Aquaman, I know, I nearly showed you. I nearly had that picture. I thought I'd show it another week. Aquinas, yeah. Would you have marks taken away for spelling mistakes? Good question, Amir. Only in the 12-mark essays. What the examiner does is looks through, for this paper, because I had to do it when I was doing it in the summer, they look through all 4 papers, you know, your essays, the 12 markers, and in the best one of them, they decide a mark out of 3 for your spelling, punctuation, and grammar. So you want to just, my tip is at the end of the exam, we can talk about this in a few weeks, at the end of the exam, you just go back over, well, it's only 3 marks, it's only 6 marks out of a total, like 98 or 96 marks, yeah? So don't worry, yeah, the SPAG marks, yeah. I mean, technically, if your writing is really hard to read and I can't sort of understand it and I can't get what you're saying, then it might stop you getting 12 out of 12 in the essay. But really what you want to do is just go back through and check your spelling, punctuation and grammar at the end. Maybe just between now and the exam, just get some key word sheets and just test yourself on the spellings. Some key things. Key things that come up tend to be the word argument is spelt wrong quite a lot. People put that is wrong. So it's argument. So people, I get it even at A level, people write, oh, the argument. No, it's argument. That's the top one that people get wrong, as well as statement. It's statement, not statment. So you've got to get the E right. So that is another one that sometimes people, in the essays, you're writing, oh, this argument is stronger state. So they're two really key ones that people tend to get wrong. But I think maybe the last session we have together before the mock, we can go back over key spellings. It's just a case of having to learn them, but don't freak out too much about it. Get the content right. Okay, good question. So we have now talked about the causation argument. So the idea is that something had to start the universe off. So the design argument is like everything is so well put together and so intricate and well designed, there must be a designer. The cause argument is like, well, why is there even anything in the first place? Why is there even a universe? Now, never mind how well it is put together or what it looks like. Like, why is it even here? And that argument is that there's a first cause, and that cause must be God. So it's another strong argument that's given for why there is a God. And I think that's quite a strong one. It's like, well, why is there? The phrase is, why is there something rather than nothing? Why is there even anything here? And who set it all up and got it going? Well, that must be God, is the argument. Brilliant. So that's those two. So they are used as kind of general revelation, where I'm sort of generally looking at the world. And both of those could be argued exactly. So we can come to that in a minute. But both of those scientific explanations could explain it. So it's like I could say, oh, the world is so well designed, there must be a God. But then I could also say back, well, hang on, maybe it's not designed. It looks designed, but actually everything did what, Amir? It wasn't designed. It looks like it was designed, but actually everything just... Anyone know the word beginning with E? Don't know why this is not evolved. Yeah, I don't know why I thought this was evolution. I don't know why it's simple for evolution. Everything evolved over time and adapted and changed and fitted its environment. So looking back, it looks like it was designed, but actually going forwards, everything was changing and evolving and became suited to its environment. So that is a big sort of question. But the thing is, even though you might say, well, everything's evolved, well, what started that? That's why I think the cosmological argument is quite strong. It's like, well, what actually started that process? What meant that? Because, you look at David Attenborough's videos and he's like, there's the soup with all these kind of the tiniest bacteria and creatures that ever existed, the tiny, tiny, tiniest. Something happened and they started to evolve. Well, what was that something? What was it? What caused it to happen? And that's why I personally feel the cause argument is the strongest. That's my view. So you could have an essay that says, the design argument is the best proof for God. Personally, I would argue there are strengths, but there's big weaknesses, and the cause argument is a stronger. I think it's like, why is there something even here in the first place? Because obviously evolution could argue to how things have appeared designed. What's another big criticism we could give the design argument? Is it that well designed? What, the world is wonderfully, perfectly designed and everything works perfectly well? Well, some things don't seem to work very well. So many, suffering and evil. We could talk about moral evil, natural disasters. Exactly, well done, Nafisa. Hi, Nafisa. So it's, is it natural disasters? They're quite a big issue because it's like, well, is that part of the design of the universe? Volcanoes, tsunamis, all that sort of thing. You're skipping ahead to what I was going to look at on the next slide, everybody, but here we go. So that is like, that could be used as well. And you can go into the problem of evil with that and all of those kind of things. Good. So we talked about the cause argument. The issue with the cause argument is just say everything has to have a cause. Everything had something that caused it. So what's the question then that I could argue back if I'm an atheist? I'll say, well, who caused God? Yeah, exactly, Tasneem. If everything had to have a cause, then who caused God? So that's a big question that's asked. But the thing, sort of this unit is like two people having an argument, isn't it, about whether God exists or not. The theist would say back, yeah, but by definition, God is the uncaused cause. The word God means the one that is not caused, but is the cause of everything. So of course, God doesn't have a cause. God is different to the rest of the universe. And this is very what we go into with A-levels. So if you like these kind of discussions, please think about doing the A-level because we go into this in a lot more depth. But for you now, just know that that's a big criticism as well, who caused God? And the theist is going to argue back, well, God doesn't need a cause because that's what God means, the uncaused cause, the unmoved mover. And I'm sure there's things like the 99 names of God you could use and quotes from the Bible you'd be able to sort of think about, and we can come to those later. Okay, so the other ones are not so much general revelation, but examples of special revelation. Can you think of any of them that they could be? The other ones, we've done number 1 and 2. I was hoping to get all 6 done. What could, I don't know if you get these cultural references. I'm trying to be down with the kids here. The guy on the left, do you know who he is? Oh yeah, top right, when Jesus turned water into wine. Yeah, brilliant. So that's an example of a miracle. Brilliant, fantastic. So why is it? Yes, Dream. Is it Dream SMP the same person or 2 people? I don't know, but I typed Dream in and that person came up. And my child is obsessed with Dream SMP, so I thought, okay, I better put that there. Not my 5-year-old, my 13-year-old. Back to Lucinda's miracle. So Jesus turning water into wine. I put that one there because it's the first one recorded in the Gospels, in the Bible about Jesus. It's the first one that Jesus did once he was like out and performing his miracles. So it's quite a good one to have as an example. And then you can use it for Christian beliefs about God, as part of that unit of the exam as well. So he turns water into wine at a wedding. It's seen as a miracle because no laws of science could explain it. And so Christians will look to that and lots of other examples of what Jesus did as miracles. But there's obviously criticisms we can give. These books were written a very long time ago. Maybe there are explanations that we don't know yet for things that we think are miracles. We can come to that later. That's another big reason why people might say there's a God. And that's, if it happens to me, a miracle happens to me, it's special revelation to me. If I read it in the Bible about Jesus, then that would be general because I'm reading about what happened to him. It's not happening to me. And then we've got dreams and, the red guy? Dreams and visions. Yes, fantastic. So dreams and visions are another example of special revelation where God might speak to me or reveal something to me about God's person. Remember, it's about revelation, what we're learning about God, maybe the forgiveness of God, the love of God, the power of God, God's knowledge, if I'm getting a dream of something that's going to happen in the future. But of course, these have their criticisms as well, because maybe I was actually just asleep and I was just actually dreaming and it came from my own head. Maybe I was really ill and I had a fever and I was like hallucinating a little bit. Maybe I had some kind of head injury. So there's people in the past who've had like head injuries and then they've had these visions of God. And it seems like when part of their brain is damaged, they have these experiences. So does that mean they're real or not? Again, we do that at A-level too. So they are another reason why people might believe in God. And then finally, I put the light there as enlightenment. So it's like a bit of a funny one because it's not about belief in God, but it's about the Buddhist idea of kind of coming to a realization in your own mind that there is something greater than yourself, I guess, and reaching this state of enlightenment and higher thinking. So it doesn't quite fit, but it's another thing that people have in this unit about belief in something beyond themselves. Great. So now, actually, I think I'm going to go back to you with some thinking on a Mentimeter. And then let's see from what we've just done. Yes. Okay, good. I'm just going to give you a link. Don't forget you can ask me any questions. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me go back to... Stop sharing that. Let me go. Why is it not coming here? What? I want to... Okay, here we go. So I'm going to give you the link here in the chat. I'm going to put the pad, the 12 markers you were supposed to get on the Padlet. But your teacher might not have said it for you, but I can put it there. Yeah, definitely. In fact, There you go. So go on this Mentimeter for now, and I'll put those 12 markers up on the Padlet. And anything else you ever want, you can ask me. You can. A tab. Okay. So from what we just did, has everyone got this that you can type in? The mock's on the 28th of November. Hi, Nadira. Yeah, great. Okay, so maybe now, from what we just talked about, what can you remember? What do you think the main reasons are where people might not believe in God? And then the second question is, what are the main reasons why people will be a theist? So you've got two things to fill in there, just from what we were talking about. Remember, the exam could ask you to either explain them, so it could be give two explanations of the design argument or two contrasting views on the design argument. It could be in the 12 marker asking whether it proves that there is a God or isn't a God, or is it the strongest proof of God, and that kind of thing. Great. Let's have a look and see what we've got. The design argument. Okay, and the next one. Oh no, sorry, we can go back. Okay. Any other ideas here? Yeah, great. I'm just going to take a picture for the teachers to know that you're all wonderful being here on a Saturday morning. Yeah, they might believe in other things. Good. So it's like we didn't talk about the Big Bang Theory, did it? So that's another one that can be used to say, well, there we go. I'll just send that to the teachers. There we are. Lovely bunch this morning. The Big Bang. The Big Bang could be used to say that's why the universe is here, as the kind of causation argument. In a way, evolution can be used to do with the design argument. The Big Bang Theory can be used to do with the causation argument, that was the thing that caused everything. But still, people could argue, well, what caused that to happen? Kind of keep having this argument. So let's have a look. We've got here, people may not believe in God as a problem of evil. Yeah, good. I think the problem of evil, yeah, if there was what caused God, fantastic. Science, yeah, science seems to be, although 70% of the world's top scientists believe in some kind of power. They might not be Christian or Muslim or Jewish, but they believe there's something. So science often needs people to believe there is a God, but you're right, it can be a big challenge to belief in God, this idea of like proof, but maybe the point of belief is that you can't prove it, I might do that in an essay. I'd say, maybe the point of religion is that you can't prove it. You have to believe it. It's something you've got to have faith in. Great, good. Humanists might believe everything's created by mankind. Yeah, humanists would say the world is just here. There's nothing that created it. As soon as you say what put the world here, you're going to basically probably think there's a God, because God's the only thing big enough to put the world here. I couldn't do it. I'm just little me. What a humanist would argue is that we have created the morals and the ethics and how to live and all the stories and things like that. That's all been created by humans rather than it being from God or a God, God's. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got science here, which is brilliant because we're going to come back to that later. And then here, just words for why do they believe in God then? If these are reasons why they don't, what do you think the main reason or reasons would be? This should be a word card. If you just type some words in, it'll come up, hopefully. Hope that will work. Hope it is. I'm just going to find that homework for you. And then I'll put the essay questions up, and then you can still do them even if your teacher didn't give it to you, He might have given you something else. Good. So the first cause, design argument, good. And I think these two, even if people don't use those words, this is often why people believe in God. So I've had, whenever I say to students, I don't believe in God, they say, well, who put you here? How did you get here? Who put the world here, the universe here? And then we'd say that was God. Family, yeah. Family is a big reason, that kind of upbringing that you have. How people were raised, yeah. Causation argument, design argument, miracles, first cause. Let's see a couple more of you. Let's see what else you think here. Great. I will get those questions up for you in a minute, but I'll just focus on being with us together here now. So yeah, going back to why people might not believe in God, then we've got here evolution on the left, and then here on the right we've got the Big Bang Theory. We've sort of talked about that, but of course they still have their challenges. Well, who started the process of evolution off? That was God, you could argue, or who made the Big Bang happen, you could say, and then evil and suffering. So the two types at the bottom, I thought, on the left could be, bottom left could be an example of what type of suffering, or what type of evil, sorry. Natural evil, fantastic. And on the right, you could say it's moral, because that's, yeah, moral evil, because that's someone choosing and deciding, I'm going to harm you, and it's sort of my fault, you could argue. Whereas on the left, you could say that's natural evil because it's part of how the world is. There's no specific person. And again, you can argue this in your essay, like whether that really is, which one is the stronger challenge, do you think, natural evil or moral evil? To saying, oh, there's a God. Oh, actually, what is the challenge? Let's just remind ourselves. If there's an all-loving and all-powerful God, why is there suffering? Because if God was loving, God would want to stop it. And if God was powerful, God could stop it. So why is there suffering? That's what the problem is. And one thing you need to be careful of if it comes up in the exam is that you can really explain what the problem is before you jump into the answers. So I know lots of us have got like really good answers, really good reasons why, but you might have to just explain the problem. So make sure you've got a way to sort of say, you know, the fact that God is all loving and all powerful and omniscient, I guess, because God would know how to fix it. Then why is there suffering? And you might give a couple of examples. Yeah, if God is omniscient and God knows what will happen in the future, and if it's going to be bad, why doesn't God try to stop or fix it? If God can, then God would, if God was loving. That's the whole problem. So you can sort of explain this. You might have a 4 marker or 5 marker to sort of explain that, yeah? Or it could be two types of suffering, or it could be a 4 marker or 5 marker, having to explain in a bit more detail, maybe give a couple of examples, use some of those keywords. So why doesn't he then, Amir, or she? Why doesn't God try to fix or stop it? I don't know, yeah. I think this is quite a big, it's a test. Yeah, so God, this is, yeah, exactly. So in Islam, it's a test. And there's a quote that you can use, we shall test them with fear and hunger. You can use that from the Quran to say it's a test. And if you pass the test, then you're going to be rewarded in the afterlife, because God is just. You can bring it back to those ideas of Muslim beliefs. But it is a big challenge to the existence of God, the problem of evil, and it's something that people do have to deal with and think about. And I know, sadly, people do have to think about, like, why does God allow this suffering to happen? So you've got natural evil and moral evil. Some people, and then exactly within Christianity, you might say it's because of original sin and the fall. You don't have that idea of original sin in Islam, but we do in Christianity, absolutely. So you could say in the book of Genesis, you shall not misguide our true believers, only those who have been led astray. Yeah, Amir, please come and do A-level RE, because we look at this in quite a lot of detail about whether God has decided for us that we're going to be led astray or not, or who leads us astray. Because there's, yeah, we go really into that in A-level, because it's a bit, we do like loads of this at A-level. It's fantastic. I love it. But for everyone else here right now, just know that, yeah, the Quran teaches that it's a test and will be rewarded and in the afterlife, depending on, how we've done in that test. And it's the same within Christianity, really. Like, we wouldn't be able to learn good things and be good if we never suffered. So Thomas Aquinas, or Aquaman, as we've thought of him before, said you're not going to learn these good things if you never suffer. So I would never be brave if I was never scared. I would never learn to be patient if I didn't have to wait for anything. So we need suffering to teach us things as well. So even as suffering can be a big challenge to belief in God, but there are answers to it. Life is a test. We need suffering to learn things like, why am I suffering right now? My finger is really, really hurting. Yeah, my finger's really hurting. Why am I suffering? Because I wasn't paying attention when I was slicing some vegetables this morning and I sliced my finger. So I've learned now to be more careful. I'm living in a new house and I keep bashing my head. You know, I'm quite tall. I keep bashing my head all the time. And that's the only way I'm going to learn to like duck my head under these little doors for these tiny people that they made this house a few hundred years ago. Because I have to duck. If I don't have that pain, I'm not going to learn. We need pain to teach us things as well. So there's lots of solutions to the problem of evil that we can have. After every hardship comes ease. For every disease will come a cure. Things like this. So the idea is that, okay, maybe it's part of God's plan, this suffering. But I think that is a really big challenge. I think it might be one of the biggest challenges to believe in God. It's like, well, why is there this suffering? But there are lots of answers. Okay, great. I had so many things I wanted to do with you today. Let's have a look. I was going to do a Kahoot, but maybe we'll do it at the end. But for now, shall we have a go at planning this essay that some of you had for homework, some of you didn't. It could be what comes up in the exam anyway. So is everyone happy to do this? Just do a show of hands. If everyone's happy. I mean, if you're not happy, then yeah, great. So you can take a piece of paper and just do a quick table. We're just going to do a quick plan together for science proves there is no God. We are going to have a go at planning this together. So let me just put that away so I can see us in the chat. Just do a show of hands once you're done, I guess, once you're ready. And I'm going to have to do that so that I can type in here. It's going to shrink it down a bit. Is that going to make it bigger? Yeah, like that. Okay. So if I do that, I really need 2 screens. Can you see that okay? Or is that too small? I'll make it super big. I just can't see you now. And then, okay. So science proves there is no God. Science. So this there is no God. She doesn't exist. Okay, I like to just do a quick rephrase of the statement in my introduction, but you don't have to do that for, yeah, I'll see you later. Yeah, you can have it in a bit. When I'm finished in 15 minutes. Yeah, okay, great. Control plus. Oh, that makes it bigger, does it? Thank you. But, oops. It's actually making it smaller. I'll do control minus. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm in France. Like that. Is that better? Ah, that's good, isn't it? No, that's fine. So I like to just rephrase the title, just to make sure I know what I'm answering, but you don't have to do that. The main thing I would really like you to do at the start is your thesis. So hopefully you've heard the word thesis before, or maybe it's line of argument, or maybe it's your view. Well, you don't have to phrase it like, I believe that. It's better if you don't actually. So yeah, hopefully you've had that phrase or heard that. And really from my marking in the summer, this is the thing that makes a really strong essay. And again, you don't have to say it at the beginning. It's not like the examiner sort of ticks off your structure and gives you marks or not. What they're looking for is an argument that's running throughout, that you sort of, you build on and you show this is what you're arguing. So I think the best way to do that is to say it in the beginning, and then you've got right in your head what you're arguing. And then my sister, when I started A-levels and I was having a really hard time writing essays, I hated writing them, I didn't know what to write. She just sat me down. She was doing history at university at King's, and she sat me down and she said, you say what you're going to say, you say it, and then you say what you've said. And it just really helped me understand how to do it. So I'm going to say what I'm going to say, my thesis. Now you're going to choose, yeah? You're either going to do A, this essay will argue that this statement is correct. So that would be the atheist view, that science proves there's no God. Or you're going to say this essay, oh, do you know what? Look at that in there. I can't even spell atheist there. This essay will argue that the statement is not correct. That would be the theist view. Okay, so has everyone written down the rewording of the title? So just kind of get straight in your head what you're arguing, what you're writing about, because I think sometimes in the stress of the exam, you can see the title and think it's something other than it is, or think, oh, argument or it's design, when actually they're asking about cause or something like that. So I think it just helps get in your head, this statement is suggesting there's no God because science proves that he or she doesn't exist. What do we do in the empty boxes? We're going to fill it in together. Is that okay? Or you can, but we're going to fill it in together. So you are now choosing A or B. So you write down which one you want to do. Just do a show of hands if you're going to do A. The statement is correct. Science proves there's no God. Oh, Ramis has left the bit. Okay, so a couple of people are going to do that. Who is going to argue? It doesn't have to be your view. It's what you think you can argue. You know, who's going to argue the statement's not correct? Science doesn't prove there's no God. Great. So maybe more people are going to do the B. So I might plan this as if I'm B. For the sake of everyone together, and then you can flip it if you're doing it differently. Yeah, if that's okay. Hope that's okay. So I'm going to plan it as if I'm B, but it could be the same points that I use. What matters is how I evaluate it, how I link it back to my thesis. This is really for like 10, 11, 12 out of 12 essays, okay? So I would then start with, so I've done my introduction, and it's literally what? How long does that take an exam? 2 minutes to write that? This statement is suggesting there's no God because science proves he or she doesn't exist. This essay will argue the statement is not correct. So my first paragraph is going to be why some people would agree with the statement. So for the statement, some would, I'd say some atheists would agree with the statement because, well, what evidence might they use? What evidence might an atheist use to say that science proves there's no God? You can type it for me. Tell me, type any questions you want. Atheist. Why would an atheist say that science proves there's no God? An atheist. So I'm saying, why would some people agree with the statement? This is the structure I like to use. I do my introduction and I say what I'm going to argue. And then my first paragraph, I always do for the statement. Why do some people agree with the statement? Whatever I think. And then the second one, I always do why some people would disagree with the statement, whatever I think. And then my conclusion, I say what I think overall. Okay, good. So some atheists would agree with the statement because of evolution showing how the world, how all the species in the world were about. Appeared. Good. And what else could I say? What about how the world got here in the first place? How did it even get here in the first place? Like, how did it all get started? And the Big Bang Theory. How the world was. The universe appeared. I'm just going to do. Therefore, there's no need for a creator God. But how can we evaluate this? Because I'm B, yeah? Because I'm B, I need to say this is a weak argument because that's not what I think. I've said I think the statement's not correct. So I've got to say why I don't agree with that explanation. So this is for the statement. Okay, so why is this a weak argument? And I just start with this sentence. This is a weak argument because. And honestly, the essays that have the evaluation in the paragraphs rather than just at the end are the stronger ones because you are showing the same view throughout. Even though I'm showing a different side, I'm coming back to that same view that I hold. So I'm saying, I don't agree with that. So I've got to say why it's a weak argument. So what would the weakness be? Because, so I'm going to say some people agree with the statement, atheists, because they'll say evolution shows how everything kind of came about, the Big Bang, exactly. This is a weak argument because they're, because this doesn't prove what caused evolution in the first place, or caused the Big Bang. I'll put the BB, do you know what I mean? With the Big Bang? Yeah, caused the Big Bang to happen. That must have been God. Therefore, and I'm just literally going to take my thesis, the statement is not correct. Literally, I'm just going to nick exactly what I've said already. Therefore, the statement is not correct. So come back to what I've already said at the beginning. So now, I'll just let you're all jotting this down, are you? Yeah, so look, I'm basically writing the essay, aren't we? Here we go. Is that helpful to do it like this? Yeah, okay. Some theists would don't be sorry, Amir. Never be sorry. Well, obviously, if you've done something wrong, I don't think you've done anything wrong, have you? Some theists would disagree with the statement. Now, what then we have in here yet? Which is tricky in this unit because it's, oh, you just left by accident. It's tricky in this unit because obviously we've got these atheist views in this unit that we can use a lot. Oh, Miss Manan, who's in Miss Manan's class? She said, wow, wonderful to see you on here. I don't know who's in Miss Manan's class. Anyway. She's very happy to see you here. Well done. Yeah, Miss is very happy to see you here. So well done. Yeah. Some theists would disagree with the statement. What we don't have in here yet, which we always have to get in our 12 markers, is what? Do you know? I mean, I've mentioned God. I've talked about theist and atheist. We really need to try and get at least two. Any guesses of what we need? Yeah, 2 quotes. So we need to try and get 2 bits of religious teachings or quotes or ideas in here. We've talked about God being a creator and all that sort of thing, but I think you really need to, especially everyone on the call now, try and think of getting 2 quotes into every essay. This unit is trickier because you've got all these atheist scientific-y stuff, but we can still try and get 2 in. So let's see. I'm just going to shrink that down a bit so we can have everything on here at once. Okay. Some theists would disagree with the statement because, what are we going to say? Some theists would disagree with the statement because they would say that God created this universe, or God is outside of time and space, so science isn't going to find God. Or we could say that science can show us how God made the world, but God still explains why there's a world here. Or any quotes do you think we could use? Like, what bit of the Bible might a Christian read to see how the world was created? Let there be light, exactly. And then one of my favorite quotes, especially if you're in my class, I think I spoke about it with you, in the Quran, is that actually by looking at the world, by using science, we can see how God made the world. So science doesn't have to be against God. We can see that there's a God through looking at the signs. And there's this quote, verily there are signs. So that's in the Quran. And the other quote I'm going to put in is, let there be light. So, but let me just help you phrase this. Some theists would disagree with the statement because science can be used to see how God made the world and lead us to believe in a creator God. For example, in the Quran. For example, in the Quran, it says, verily, has everyone got the introduction? If I move that up out of the way. Boop. There we go. For example, in the Quran, it says, verily, there are signs for those who consider them. If we look and we see, we're going to see that God has made this world. So therefore, yeah, fantastic. We've got the creation story. Also, let there be light in the Bible. In the Bible, what did Emir say? Creation story could be what? So the Bible starts in Genesis, so the creation story. Let there be light. So what could that actually be? The Big Bang. So it doesn't have to be conflicting. The Bible seems to say everything started with a big bang, a big light. Could be referring to the Big Bang. So it is not in conflict. Okay, brilliant. So what about now, because I'm arguing, let me just remind myself, I'm arguing B, that the statement's not correct. So I must therefore say why this is a strong argument. Do you see here I've got my weak argument. I'm saying, oh, that's not very good because that doesn't convince me. Whereas here I need to say this is a strong argument. Oops. Yes. What I'm going to do is, and this is what I did last year for my year 10s, at the end of this, I take the recording, I take the handout, and then I put them back into Google Classroom again for everybody in year 10 so everyone can see it. I hope you don't mind that, but that's why I say you don't have to put your cameras on or have your mics on and stuff. Yeah, great. Yeah, I'll do that. And Abla, I was going to put the essay questions up as well, wasn't I? Is there anything else anyone would find helpful? Just let me know. Or if there's like videos from particular parts of the course that you want me to do for you, or yeah, I'm very happy. I have time. Like I'm still working with the RE department, so I have time to do things to help you, basically. Yeah. We've got 3 minutes. Okay, this is a strong argument because why is this a strong argument? Why does that convince most of us more than that? Because some theorists disagree because science can be used to show us how God made the world, because science and religion can teach us different. I'm trying to bring that Einstein quote in. He says, science without religion is lame, but religion without science is blind. Do you know that quote? So I'm thinking we could put that in. Okay, this is a strong argument because science and religion do not have to be but, oh, I got it, but can complement each other. Not like, oh, don't you look good today? More like complement, work together. They can complement each other. As Einstein said, he was a Jewish scientist, so he was the biggest ever scientist. Religion without science is blind. So like science shows us and teaches us things, but science without religion is lame. So not lame as in, I suppose you might, do you use the word lame still at school? Oh, so lame. Lame in Einstein's time meant sort of like you couldn't walk. So no, you don't use it. Okay, we used to use it when I was your age. It was like, oh, so lame. Anyway, never mind. It's a word for if you can't walk or you're paralyzed. So it's like you can't get anywhere. So religion needs science, and we need medicine and all discoveries and things like that. But I mean, they need each other basically. They need each other. Brilliant. And then the very last thing you would do is obviously just you could weigh it up and say the stronger arguments are against the statement because therefore the statement is incorrect. But because of the time, I'm just going to leave it at that for you for now. I was going to do a quick Kahoot with you. Do we have time for a quick Kahoot, everybody? What do you think? Yeah. All right, great. Good. Okay, so what I'll do is I will put that in your Google Classroom before I go off and get on with my day. And next week, we'll do the Kahoot in a second before we say goodbye. Next week, we will do Christian beliefs, because again, that's the one that you've done the least recently. And then the next week, we'll do Muslim beliefs and practices. And the next one, we'll go back over all four, so we can go back over this as well. But do spread the word for people. Everybody's welcome. I'd do it for 1 student or 100. And I'll do the recording and pop it up too. And please use the Padlet. Just Saturdays. What did you think? Did I say Sundays? I'm just Saturdays, because I'm probably going to do A-level on Sundays. So just Saturdays. I mean, you've got your RE lesson, you've got your revision stuff going on anyway, you've got revision in form time, and you've got me. It was actually so fun. Lucinda. Oh, I'm going to print that, put it on my wall. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to take a photo of that to show the RE teachers. Wait, where's she gone? Oh, you're so sweet. No, it's great. It's brilliant. We'll do as many as you want. I'm happy to do it. And yeah, anyway, all right, let's go. How's France? France is great. Apart from I sliced my finger open this morning. Yeah, France is really good. It's very fun. But I really, really miss Morpeth, so I like to do this. Yeah, I'm in France. Shall I show you mine? Hang on a second. Let's see if you can see out my window. Can you see that? So that's my window. That's my neighbour. That's the mayor's house. I'll be putting this recording online in a minute. That's the mayor's house. And in that forest there's like this waterfall, huge waterfall called the Cascades, and it's really beautiful. So yeah, it's really nice here. Yeah, I live here. Yeah. which is why this is remote, and why I have time till the school asks me to carry on helping and supporting. So I want to do as much as I can to help you. Obviously your teachers are doing loads and you've got loads going on in the school, but sometimes it's, you know, if I can put a video up and show things to you and help you as well, that's what the school I want to do to help the school. Yeah, it's good, it's fun. Oh. Okay, should we do this Kahoot, everybody? What was this I going to do? Yeah, let's do the Kahoot. Let's go for it. Okay, again, I hope there's no sneaky questions in here. Let me find it here. Classic mode. Okay. No cheeky names, but I know you won't do that. Okay, I just need to get the... How do I get the... I don't know what the link is. I'll just put the pin here. You know how to get to Kahoot, don't you? Okay. You share this tab instead. Oh, you can do a... Oh, copy link to share. There we go. Yeah, you should be able to get in now. I like to change the music to... What should I change it to? Beatbox is my favourite. Are these little pictures new? I don't know whether they are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. I think that's everyone, isn't it? Is that everyone? Who haven't we got yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. And then 7, 8. Okay. I hope all these questions are things that yeah, should be fine. Okay, let's go. What's the term for someone who believes in a creator God? Yes, theist, well done. Atheist would say there's no God. The A is like, it's a negative A, so it flips it to the other way. So it's theist, atheist. They're very unhelpfully, A space theist believes in God and atheist believes there's no God. Great. Oh yeah, there might be a word here we haven't done. Someone who does not believe in a creator God. And yes, great, good. Should be everybody. Yes, an atheist. Brilliant. So we just used those in our essay plan, didn't we? What's the term for someone who doesn't know if they believe that the creator God exists or not? We didn't talk about this word, but let's see if you know it. Yeah, agnostic, fantastic. Knowledge. Think of knowledge meaning knowing whether God exists or not. Brilliant. 4. Oh, don't worry about that one. How do I skip that one? Because we haven't done that. I'm just going to skip that one. Next. Okay, great. Next, let's go. Number 5. What's the design argument also known as? Teleological argument. So think of a television being well designed. That's what I think of, like a telly, if I open the back of the TV. So teleological. Brilliant. Cosmological may come up in a moment. Well done, Abla. Here we go. What's the first cosmological argument known as? And that would be... Well well done. The cosmological argument. Ontological, we haven't done about, don't worry. It's a bit sneaky putting it there. Do that at A level. So cosmological argument, the first cause. There must, why is there something rather than nothing? Who used a watch with the teleological argument? William Paley, well done. Yeah, William Paley used the watch analogy. Then we have got, which of the following is an alternative explanation for special revelation? So, which of these, pick the one you think, would say that it could be, all of them are reasons you could give as to why you might not believe someone's saying they've had this special revelation from God. And it's as if, like nowadays, in recent history, we are less likely to believe it than we do of old stories that were written in the past. But that's, again, something we look at A level. What word is missing? Verily, there is something for those who consider them. We just talked about it. Verily, there are signs for those who consider them. In fact, the word that's used is ayah. So there's no one called ayah on here at the moment. I've taught an ayah before. And ayat is in the Quran, isn't it? The different verses of the Quran are called ayats. So verily there are signs. You can come and say hi to Lucinda. Do you want to say hi to Lucinda? Great. Well done, Abla. We've just got a few more. What word is missing? We shall something them with fear and hunger. We shall test. Well done. Fantastic. Trouble could work as well, but the word is test. We shall test them with fear and hunger. We had that to do with the problem of evil, didn't we? Fantastic. Number 11. We didn't talk about this, but hopefully you know that Jesus suffered quite a bit, Christians believe, before he died. It's another thing we can talk about, the evil and suffering. Does anyone know which one did not happen? Yeah, he didn't. Christians believe he didn't marry, so his wife didn't commit adultery. But come and say hi to Lucinda. You don't want to say hi? Lucinda, do you want to type hi to Bip? There you go. You got a hi with loads of exclamation marks. You don't want to wave? Hi. Next, you can take it this way. What does the Hebrew word yom mean in the Genesis creation story? So hopefully all of you did this in year 9. It's a period of time. It could mean days or thousands of years. So it doesn't necessarily mean 7 days. We did talk about this, but we can another week if you want the idea of creation and how the different ways it's interpreted. In fact, I think that's the next question here. Oh, we've done that one already. Okay, I'm just going to skip that because we've already done it. Sorry, that was my trying to get to me. Let's get that. Oh no, somebody got it. Oh, naughty, sorry. Okay. Which type of Christian will read the creation story as if it is literally true? 7 days, no evolution of that. Fundamentalist, fantastic, you all got that right. And finally, let's go for which type of Christian will have physical experiences of God during worship? Oh yeah, 2 of these are right. I don't know if you've looked at this yet. You will in Christian practices the idea of like a physical feeling of God when they're worshiping. Yeah, charismatic and Pentecostal. Traditional ones, not so much, but that's a bit of a sneak ahead look at a topic coming up for you. Let's have a look at our podium. Oh, well done, Lucinda. I'll take a photo for the teachers. Yes, next. Well done, Ebla. Oh, well done, Rebecca. Look at that. Look at those 3. They won it. So congratulations. Well done, everybody. So what we'll do is, I'm going to stop sharing here. Come back to here, stop sharing. What we'll do is next Saturday we'll do, what did I say, Muslim beliefs, and then we'll do Christian practice, next week we'll do Christian beliefs. The week after we'll do Muslim beliefs and Muslim practices. I have a nice time in Spain. I'm not going to Spain, although I'm very close to Spain. I'm just in France, but quite near Spain. What else can I say to you? So if there's anything during the week that you think I'd really like to cover to do with Christian beliefs, or if you want to type something now, then I can obviously prepare it to be a bit more specific for you. But I'll just do general Christian beliefs, maybe some of the trickier parts of Christian beliefs, possibly to do with salvation. Yeah, all that kind of thing. And If not, it's fine. I'll just prepare something. If you can think of anything in particular, just reply to any of my Google Classroom announcements that I put up. Same time. Oh, you want to look at it? So same time each week for 4 weeks, and then after that, if you want, but let's just do it up to the mocks and see how we do. Quotes. Good. So quotes, yeah, brilliant. And I will put the 12 markers up in just a minute. Yeah, I'll do that. Same time, same place. Yeah. Let's do that. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's no worries. Thanks for coming. Good to see you. Okay, bye everyone. Do you want to wave? Bye-bye.